Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. Come on in. Hope y'all are having a God bless Sunday. And this just happens to be a special Sunday, a little bit extra added because it is, guess what? Father's Day Sunday. Happy Father's Day to every father, every dad, daddy, grandpa out there for all the great things that you do and have done. Happy Father's Day. Praying that you're in good health. And if you're even going through a few challenges, I hope that if you hear my voice, I am sincere when I say I love you. Have a wonderful, beautiful Father's Day. To my son, Tony, who is a great, awesome father of three. To my grandson, Karan, who is the father of Kale and Rick. I'm gonna try to incorporate the pictures of all these babies that these fathers are raising and have raised, because it just brings joy to my heart to know that my guys, the guys in my family, that I can reach out and touch and that I talk to and have had a hand in their rearing, to say Happy Father's Day to you all. Even though the my hero, the best father in the world, my father is no longer with me. He's been gone for many, many years, but I love him. And if it's any way for him to know even now, Happy Father's Day to you. My father's name was Pedro, um, and my mom tried to halfway name me after him. She named me Peggy. So, to my brothers who are our fathers, Happy Father's Day to you. And last but certainly not least, to my dear, dear uh, departed husband, Bobby. He was one. He was a one of a kind man. Period. He was the greatest father that I've even ever experienced in my life, as he cared and nurtured for my children and for his grandchildren all the way through. So just happy Father's Day, and you guys know, um, in being fathers, it makes your chest swell when those kids rally around you and when you can do things for them and with them. And it's just that you might sometimes you might not have a lot of money or things to give, but as long as you can encourage them with a few kind words, love on them, hug on them, tell them how great they are, chastise them when you need to, because, honey, my thing is just let them know that you love them no matter what. Young men, young women, they need that father figure in their life encouraging them. And anybody that's struggling with anything in that regard, we pray right now in the name of Jesus that this will be the day that you can know what to say. Because, a lot of times, mothers and fathers, sometimes we don't know what words to say to our children. But we ask that God will give you those words, it will teach you those words, and that will help you along the way that you can nurture your children and your grandchildren. To all those uncles who stand in that capacity that, take care of the young men and young women in your life. Happy Father's Day to you. I love you. Hope somebody's cooking y'all a great meal or going to take you out to a great dinner. Wish I could let y'all come over here and have a good old meal right at my table. I will feed you like I've been knowing you all your life. So, anyway, let's get started with this dinner because I'll be crying here in a minute thinking about all the great things that fathers do and that they desire to do. So, everybody out there, just find some kind of way to say Happy Father's Day to your father, grandfather, uncle, or whoever it is that sits in that capacity. So, for dinner today, it's going to be short and sweet, but tasty. Um, I'm not even sure just what is going to be going on with my men today. I know Tony is here, of course, in town. Ron is here in town. And Derek, who lives in Atlanta, he has two beautiful daughters and three wonderful sons. So I'm happy Father's Day to you and to them as well, because Daniel has a beautiful baby daughter. So happy Father's Day to you, Daniel. And happy Father's Day, of course, to my beautiful son, Derek. To all the fathers. Seem like I just can't. Perry, if you listening, Eric Perry, happy Father's Day to you. I love you, and I know Shonda and the girls are making it right for you today. I tell you, if you know what, I forget names, and I have to apologize all the time. And I tell people, you know, I never forget a face or a circumstance, but names sometimes escape me. So that's why sometimes I don't even like to do the name calling thing. I'm going to take my macaroni off. That was macaroni on that back burner for my smoky, cheesy chicken casserole. So I had to get it off. I don't want to overcook those noodles, y'all. Y'all know we got to have it right, because when the flavor train rolls in here, we don't want nobody giving us side eye. You know what I'm saying? So we got the noodles already. Hope y'all got something on that stove. We'll get ready to put it on there, and it's 12 o'clock, so we need to get this meal going. And I know it's limited as to where you can go today. I thought about getting on the grill, but I thought, no, 4th of July next weekend. I'll be on that grill next weekend, so I'm just going to do it here on the stove. And like I said, I'm going to do a lot of food, but not a whole bunch of different varieties, because it would cause me to have to stand too long. I got to save my standing for next weekend. So, anywho, let's get on with this meal. On the menu today, I'm going to do a salmon. I bought a whole beautiful salmon. I'm going to do that. I don't know what I'm going to call them. And I'm going to top it off with some shrimp. But it's going to be salmon top shrimp. No, yeah, salmon. Let me see. Yeah, salmon with shrimp topping. Did I say that right? Yeah. Salmon with the shrimp topping. And then I'm doing that cheesy, smoky chicken casserole and some kale greens. Can you believe that's it? I might throw in some corn on the cob or something like that, but probably not, because I think every once in a while we need to eat just a couple of things. And I think today just might be that day that we just gonna eat a few things. And I think 3 nice heavy entrees. And oh yeah, I'll do a salad. I will do a salad, something similar to like not quite coleslaw, but something similar, because I've got an Asian salad kit, and we'll do an Asian salad, and that'll sort of put something cool and crisp and light on the palate, along with that chicken casserole, because everything I'm fixing now is pretty, really strong and real good, flavorful food. So what we're going to start with now, because it takes a little while to cook, I'm going to go ahead and get my kale greens started. Now, I've already washed them, got them cleaned up real good, and they're ready to go into the pot here. This is my big old soup pot, and because this is 2 pounds of kale greens, and I've got about 3 cups of water in there. This is 1 large onion I'm adding, okay? And I'm going to put in, oh, I found my measuring spoons, y'all. Be proud of me. Found my measuring spoons, because I'm going to be putting some complete seasoning in there. Just a little touch of garlic powder in there. And I like to pour it a little bit in now. Let's go ahead and take the top off of here and get my I'll be using 2 tablespoons of this complete seasoning. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 tablespoon right now directly into the water. Okay. And just give it a stir. And make sure you have that water at a rolling boil, y'all. I've got some leftover greens. Whenever I have leftover greens and get ready to cook another pot of greens, no matter what kind they are, I will add those leftover greens to the pot. So that will give it even more seasoning. So I've got these are mustard greens, and maybe a couple of cups of them I had left over, but I'm going to add them to that pot, but not right this minute. Okay, so make sure the water is boiling really, really good. This pot is so big, I probably should have put more water. We'll see though. We shall see. You don't have to put a lot of water in here, because I like my greens more. I'm going to put another half a cup of water in there. My greens will come out more like they're stewed. So these greens are going to be not like the boil, like the whole lot of water. We're going to stew these greens. So 3.5 cups of water. I said 2 at first, but this is 3.5 cups of water, a tablespoon of complete seasoning, and about a half of a teaspoon of garlic powder right now into the water. Remember I told you we get these seasonings going, we have to season up everything on its own, and then we put everything together, and we're going to be seasoning along the way until we get them where we want them. Also, I'm still pinching off of my marsala. I just love flavor. So I'm going to throw a little bit of that in the water because this has a little kick to it. And this just gives it extra added flavor. So if you have this, add a teaspoon. Okay. That water is good and well seasoned. Now, I've also got some broth. I've got about a couple of cups of broth in the refrigerator. Let me see. Oh, okay. If you have broth, add it. If you don't, please don't worry about it. This is just something that I do. This is some beef and some chicken broth mixed together because I had one of, half of one, half of the other, so I just mixed them together. Get that all going together. So for recap, 3 cups of water. I'm sorry, 3.5 cups of water. 1 large onion. 1 tablespoon of complete seasoning. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And you notice so far I haven't added any salt to this. And I've got a teaspoon. If you have that curry masala seasoning, feel free to put it in there. If you don't, feel free to leave it out. And if you want to just add some regular curry powder or whatever for that taste, you can also do that. Now, I've got maybe a couple pieces of bacon. I do not, and my bacon is frozen. I always like to this is turkey bacon. I'm just going to throw just a couple pieces of that in there. A little bit of, and if you use like ham hock, whatever you want to use, but just to get that seasoning. I'm trying to stay heart healthy, so I add turkey bacon, or you can add pork bacon, whatever you want to add, chef's choice, whatever your health will allow. Okay, so now I'm going to add go ahead and stir that. I want to get that to a rolling boil. Can y'all see in that pot? See my broth in there? I want to taste my broth. Pretty good. I haven't added any salt to it, y'all. What I'm going to do once I get these greens in there and get them cooking real good and get them boiled down, then I'll put my other complete seasoning in there. And I have got some, when I do use salt, I'll use just a little bit of that Himalayan pink. So to this entire pot, I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of Himalayan pink in there. Okay. Okay. That's it. That's all the salt. Now I'm going to start putting my greens in. My water is boiling. My broth rather is boiling. I'll go ahead and start putting them in. And once I get these going, I'm just going to put the lid on them and just let them rip, okay? Put them in there. I'll turn them a little bit so all of that goodness will get all over them. Because you all know these are going to shrink tremendously. They will shrink a lot. When I purchased these, I should have purchased a 3rd bag. Because you know what? I love to have some of this left over in the fridge. Y'all know me and my leftovers. But I only grabbed a couple of bags without thinking about my leftovers. So, but anywho, we'll have plenty to eat today. Okay. Okay, so all the greens are now in the pot. Okay, the greens are in. So I'm just going to give them another stir. Y'all just be very careful when you stir that you don't flip that hot water out on yourself. So, now, next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put my other, remember I put 2 tablespoons of the complete seasoning in there. So, my other tablespoon, y'all know I didn't put a real tablespoon. You know what, the sodium in this is 90 parts or half teaspoon. So probably 300 on the sodium for this, which is not bad for this big old pot. So we're going to cook these down. And this is going to be some good eating, y'all. See, I probably could have gotten another package in there. And then when they cook down even more, I'm going to go ahead and put those, remember I told y'all I had some greens left over, but so I don't cook them too much. I'm just going to wait a little while. Okay, so we're going to cover them and let them come to a great big old boil. Then I'll lower the heat and let them simmer so we can move on to our next item. So that was a little bit of time I spent with y'all. Okay, you know what? I got to figure out a thing to put on top of here. Well, there it is right there. I just got to figure out how to keep it on there. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next thing to work on. So y'all hold on. Don't go away. Okay, I'm back. The greens are about done. Now I'm going to put my frozen leftover greens right out of the... There they go. That's going to add more flavor to those greens. It's just some more juice. Like I said, y'all know me. I declare by leftovers. Keep those leftovers, package them well. Even though this was maybe a couple of servings of greens, nobody ate them, so I went ahead and put them in the freezer. And what they're serving to do today is to help to season these kale greens. Okay, this is some mustard greens. See, I think it was turnips and mustards, I believe, that I fixed. And this, honey, that flavor is just going to be beyond description in here. So, okay, now to get that all cooked through, I'm going to let those simmer another 15-20 minutes because these greens are about done, y'all. Everything in this pot is about done. It takes about a good, I usually cook my kale green about a good hour, so we'll be back. Okay, I'm over here in another section. Now we'll get ready to start my cheesy mesquite chicken casserole going. So I've got, as you can see, I got my mesquite chicken here. This chicken here is a breast of a rotisserie chicken. So we're gonna have this is, by the way, this is the mesquite grilled chicken fillets, Sam's Club. Let's get them right there where you can see them. These are what I buy. They come in 3 pounds for $10. Not a bad price, y'all. And of course, y'all see I've got my mushrooms, bell peppers, my green peppers, and my orange peppers cut up. I'm getting ready to chop the onions. I'm gonna go ahead and slice, finish slicing the meat. I'm gonna cut it up in just slices, and then we'll get it all together. So y'all hang on just a minute, and we'll be back. Okay, I'm back with the cutting. These are my pieces of mesquite chicken. I use 4 of these, which is about a pound. There's 3 pounds in the bag. So that's about, well, maybe a little over a pound because these are pretty good size. And they are already cooked, Sam's Club. And what I'm going to also use is because I had that chicken, that rotisserie chicken breast. We ate rotisserie chicken, sliced rotisserie chicken subs yesterday and the day before. I am using the rest of that breast to put into this casserole. So there will be plenty of meat. So all I have to do is just go through here like you see I'm doing here. You just cut through it. This is just a breast. I've taken the bones out of it. And you just cut through it like so. Then turn it like that. And I'll make 3 cuts through there. Well, 4. That was a nice big breast. This meat is wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful from those rotisserie chicken. So I got about almost 3 pounds of, well, about 2.5 pounds at least of chicken. And of course I've got my mushrooms and peppers and onions cut up on the side there. Matter of fact, I've got to cut the onions. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these onions and get back to you in just a minute. All this food's already cooked, nothing, so there's no cross contamination before you get started. Okay, so hold on. Hey y'all, I'm back, ready to get over here and get our good old cheesy Mesquite casserole. Cheesy Mesquite chicken casserole. I always leave off one word or the other. So what we have to do obviously first is we got to saute all of our veggies. These are one large onion, a large orange pepper, a medium-sized green pepper, and I'm going to put the mushrooms in, of course, but I'm going to put them in last because they just, I want to give it to be as hot as it can get so I don't get any condensation in my pan. Okay, so as we're starting to go along, I put my dry ingredients in stages. Because what I like to do is make sure that each installation is seasoned in and of itself. So right here, I'm just going to let these veggies here go ahead and start to wilt. You can give them wilt it down a little bit. Get them sauteed up there. There's a few more in that thing. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get these done, and we'll be right back and get the mushrooms in, and we'll get everything else incorporated. And I'll give you the recipe, of course, for the entire dish. Okay, as you can see, I've gone ahead and put the mushrooms in, and I've got, along with the peppers and onions, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle them with a half a tablespoon of complete seasoning. So that's for everything. Remember how we have to get everything seasoned independently. Then I'm going to come in with with a teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I've got about I start out with a 1/4 cup of oil, and then I add another 1/4 cup of oil, so a 1/2 cup of oil in my pan. And just go ahead and start, I know my spoon, but I'm sorry y'all, this is what I have to use. I don't like wooden spoons, and I don't have a good plastic one that won't melt down on me. So anyway, I'll try to keep the noise down. Okay, so as you can see, everything is cooking right along. Have that heat real high, because I don't want a lot of condensation in that pan from those mushrooms, because mushrooms are a water plant and they will juice up on you. Okay, so far I got the complete seasoning in there. I got the garlic in there. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle about a teaspoon of this Italian seasoning. And I'm going to give you exact measurement, because when I made this the last time, it was like a test kitchen. Okay. It was like a test kitchen type thing, so we were making it up as we go along, but I sat down and got my measurements, and since it was a great hit the last time I made it, everybody loved it. I thought, what a great dish to cook for Father's Day. There'll be plenty of it. They can eat as much as they want to of it, and it will be okay. So we're just going to let that simmer along, and when I come back, we'll start adding the other ingredients in. Those mushrooms have pretty much cooked down, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of my black pepper to the mix. Okay. Like I said, I'll give you all the ingredients. So in this process, just like half of the seasoning in right here, and then when I put it together, I'll put the other half. When I put the noodles in and the meat in, I'll put the other half. So, oh Lord, this smells so good. I want to sit down and eat now, y'all. Okay, so we're going to mix everything together now. That's the veggies all pretty much done. That is my peppers, my onions, and my mushrooms. So that is 1 large onion, 1 large orange pepper, 1 medium green pepper, 1 pound of sliced portobello mushrooms with a tablespoon of complete seasoning on it, tablespoon of garlic powder, and then I'm going to put some minced garlic in when I put the noodles and the meat in. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and put in a teaspoon, 1 of my teaspoons of turmeric on there, and I have another teaspoon to go. Well, like I said, I'll give you the exact ingredients. This has got to be mixed and seasoned to perfection, because when all this goes together now, remember, it's like it got to be on the same page. So now I'm about ready to go ahead and add my meat or my chicken. Okay, chicken going. So now what we do, get that chicken going into the mix and just mix it all together. Oh my goodness. See, now you could use this just like it is on top of some rice, on top of some noodles, however you want to do it. You may have to put a little salt in there, you know, and may do something to create a little bit of juice in there. But for the most part, I'm going to sprinkle me a half a teaspoon of, altogether 1 teaspoon of my masala sauce seasoning. Because y'all know my masala, and I have to use it sparingly. So pretty much now I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat off rather, because everything that I need to be cooked is cooked. All my vegetables are cooked, so I can just use this now, just like this. And because this skillet is loaded, now this one is bigger than the last one that I made, y'all. So I'm going to have to use a different mixing bowl. So, but just before I take this off the heat, I'm going to go ahead and put my tablespoon of minced garlic in there, okay? So I want to heat it just a little bit while it's on there. Okay. And remember, like last time, we want some of that juice of that garlic going on in there. I believe I got all of my, I know I got all my dry ingredients. I believe I got everything in there now. So we're just going to go ahead and stir it up. The greens are ready, I believe, y'all, back there. Let's go ahead and push that out of the way. Yeah, there we go. So the big part of this meal is done, except now we got to do the salmon. So when I come back, I'll have everything pretty much mixed in. So I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, we're ready to get serious now and put this entire dish together. Here is my other tablespoon of complete seasoning. My other tablespoon, this is my other half of a tablespoon of, this is Italian dressing, Italian seasoning rather. Okay, put all that together. And then we're going to put a teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic. We did the minced garlic one. Now we owe this one more tablespoon of minced garlic. We put 2 of those. So we owe this one. Wow, can't get it pop off. Okay. So we just need the other tablespoon of the minced garlic. Okay. And I believe we got everything going on. So we got everything. My Italian, I got the Italian, I got the mince, I've got the, so now we're getting ready to incorporate all of the meat and the vegetables into the noodles, because then the next thing we're going to do is get some cheese going in there, layer it in, and get it ready for the oven, which is going to be on 375. We're going to put this in a 375 degree oven for about 45 minutes, no longer than that. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a stir. I put a half a stick of, well, the equivalent of a half a stick of butter, margarine, whatever you use, butter or margarine. Butter, you know, tastes better. I can't have butter no more, y'all, unfortunately. And I'm going to put the rest of my turmeric in there. Let's see, I didn't put all my turmeric. Teaspoons here. I owe myself another teaspoon of turmeric. Can't leave my turmeric out, y'all. My other teaspoon of, there it is. There it comes, y'all. Turmeric. That's a teaspoon. That's about a teaspoon. Okay. I'll give y'all all the ingredients all together here shortly. So we're gonna get that all stirred up. Whew. If y'all could be here and y'all could smell this, you just would have a fit like I'm about to do. So hold on a minute, let me get everything thrown in that pan. Okay, y'all, I have put the meat and veggie mixture into this dish. Whew. It's smelling so good, y'all. I'll tell you what, I'm getting nervous because I'm about ready to stop. What I'm doing is sit down and eat before I even bake it. See those mushrooms in there, all the veggies in there, the meats in there, and I also added a cup of Romano cheese to it. 1 cup of Romano cheese while y'all weren't looking. Threw that in there. Wow. Y'all know this is gonna be some good eating. Okay. And you could eat this really just like it is, but you know, the cheese is what's making the difference here. And then I've got to put the Alfredo sauce. So I've got 2 15-ounce jars of Alfredo. So I'm gonna get that in there and get it mixed up. Okay, everything's mixed. Now, the next and last step, of course, is to get it into my baking dish, which is my big old baking dish. And then what I'm gonna do is layer it in with the cheese back and forth. I think I might have maybe 3 layers with this much, y'all. This is a big old pan, y'all, so y'all give me a minute here. Okay, got my first layer in, y'all. So what I'm gonna do next is go ahead and start putting the cheese on. So I'm gonna do, I think I'll be able to do like 3, to do that cheese 3 different times. So I have plenty of nice cheese in there. I got 2 pounds of cheese to put in here. So a half a pound of cheese I mixed in while I was mixing. So do another layer, and I'll just keep doing that until we get it done. Okay, last layer in, and what I always do on my last layer, I put cheese and breadcrumbs to make me sort of like a little crust on top. So all I do is just put some breadcrumbs, mixed breadcrumbs, the cheese, Romano cheese, and some olive oil together, and then just put it on top. So give me a minute with that. Okay, here we go. We're back, and I am making my topping now. This is 2 cups of cheese, half a cup of breadcrumbs, teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and 1 teaspoon of complete seasoning, half teaspoon of garlic powder, and this is going to be enough. I'm just going to spread it all over the top, and we'll be ready to put it in for baking. I'm going to go ahead and put a 1/4 cup of olive oil in there, and you can use butter or whatever you want to use in there, whichever one you want to use. Just make sure you mix it all up together real good so it will melt evenly on top of there. So be right back. Okay, everything is on. I'm just going to take my hand here and just spread it like so. So that's your topping for your casserole. And this topping you can use for spaghetti, whatever you want to use it for. Garnish anything with this. Okay, so now this is ready to go in the oven at 375 degrees for 45 minutes. Hold on, I'll give you the recipe. Y'all, I'm just gonna place a piece of foil on top, not tighten it, just lay it on top like that and put it into the oven. Okay? Okay, y'all, I'm back. You're not seeing double. you're not seeing a mirage. This is actual fresh Fuji apples. I decided, since I got all these apples in my fridge, I need to do something with them. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna make a banana blueberry apple bread pudding. Hold on, there goes the phone. As I was saying, I got I got tons of Fuji apples. So what I decided to do is chop up some of these Fuji apples and make a fruit compote. That's what I'm calling it. Let's see. You see these big old pretty Fuji apples, and they're nice and crisp. I got 2 bags of them, so I don't want them to go to waste. So what I'm gonna do is make a compote. I could make an apple pie of them, but I'm gonna do bread pudding with it. I'm gonna add, this is 2 large Fuji apples. I'm gonna add 1, that's 2, 3, about 6 tablespoons of Food Lion's apple jelly. Put it right on in there. Y'all know that's gonna be good. It's gonna be really, really, really good because I'm gonna make it part of the fruit that's gonna be in the bread pudding. Y'all know I love bread pudding. I'm always trying different things with bread pudding. But this is one of the fruits that's gonna be in. I'm also gonna put blueberries in there and a little bit of banana. I think blueberries, bananas, and apples go well. I like to, y'all know me, I like to mix flavors and see what it's going to taste like. So I also need, let's see. That's so wonderful. Not going to need a lot of sugar in it. I'm going to put about 1/4 cup of sugar. My favorite brown sugar in there. And if I need to, I'll add more. I also need about 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. Remember I told you go light on that nutmeg because it will season stuff up right quick. And of course I got 1/4 cup of butter already in there. That's what I used to start the apples. I sort of stewed them down with that butter first. 1/4 cup butter or margarine. And then 4 tablespoons of apple jelly. I think that's plenty. And we're going to stew those down. We'll just let those cook down real, real good. And then we'll come back and that's perfection right there. If I was going to make a banana pudding, if I was going to make an apple pie, perfect mixture for an apple pie. The only thing I'd add to it, just a dab of vanilla flavor to go in there, because all that's going to mix in well with that bread pudding. Okay, and I'm just going to use. We'll see when we get over there and start cooking. But I need these apples to go ahead and cook down really, really good because I want them nice and soft. And meanwhile, I'm using the equivalent of a medium-sized loaf of bread. 3 slices being raisin bread because I did have 3 slices of raisin bread in there. 2 Fuji apples, peeled and sliced, and then cooked down. And then I'm going to have, of course, 3 cups of milk in there and 4 eggs. And I'll show you how I do it as we go along. That's going to be dinner. There's also been a change of plans as to what I'm preparing for dinner. Remember, I've already made my cheesy Mesquite casserole. And also to that, I'm going to add the greens. We're having the greens. I decided not to do the salmon. It just didn't quite go. So I'm doing chicken. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, yeah, I got some little ones came visit me while I'm cooking. I'm still doing my apples. You gone? Tania is not staying. Say bye to the folks.
Bye.
She ain't staying. She's going to go on. I thought she was going to stay till her daddy got here, but not. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish this apple blueberry bread pudding. We're going to get this on over here to the counter where the other stuff is. And get this blueberry, banana, apple bread pudding into the oven. That's what we're having for dessert today. You know, this is just another one of my things that I want to do as far as bread pudding. I'm trying to match how many ways I can fix chicken and bread pudding. So y'all gone?
Yes, ma'am. We
Okay.
Go.
All right.
Thank
Love
you.
y'all.
Love you too.
Love y'all. These are the other people that make me smile. That's Man's mom and his sisters and brothers. Wait to the camera, Poo Poo.
Wait.
The children, they do just exactly what they want to do. Aren't they precious? See, these are the kind of people like this. This is what make me smile. This is why I do what I do all the time. Love y'all.
Love you too.
Okay. So Man is staying.
Yeah, Romano now. I know you will. You always do.
Oh yeah, Man's good. Bye, baby. See y'all later. Bye, baby. Okay, what I gotta do now is mix my 3 cups of milk and my sugar and my vanilla flavor and nutmeg together. I'm mixing it in the blender. I'm gonna pour it into here over the bread so the bread will soften. Then I add my apples, mix it up, throw in the blueberries, and we got us some bread pudding ready to go into the oven. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and pour my mixture. This is my 3 cups of milk, 4 eggs, a couple tablespoons of vanilla flavor, and an 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Remember, not a lot of nutmeg. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my liquid over this bread so that it can be getting soft. I should have already done this, but this is the equivalent of 1 loaf of bread. Now I use 3/4 of a stick of this French bread. Just broke it up into pieces. And I had 3 pieces of raisin bread to go in there. So I'm just gonna let it sit in there and let everything get all mixed up together. And we're gonna have us some bread pudding here shortly. So I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I'm adding the fruit in. I put the apples in. I meant to save about half the apples to put on top, but that's okay. I saved enough, and I got blueberries incorporated in here. Everything is being mixed together, y'all. Ooh, it smells wonderful too. Okay, but this is just a basic recipe. It just depends on what whatever kind of fruit you want to put in there. That's all. That's the big diffo. All of that. So I can drop a couple more berries in there. Okay. See how that bread sort of meshes together and goes ahead on and just melts down for you. Okay, the bread pudding is ready to go into the pan. I spray my pan a little bit so it'll just come out really easy. So all the ingredients are in. I'll give y'all, you know what, as a matter of fact, at the end of the video I will give y'all the recipe. How's that? Okay, and you see, basically I'll just give you all the ingredients and you can just watch and see how they're mixed together. So hold on a minute and I'm gonna get this ready to go in the oven. You see what a big size pan. This is at those foil pans that you can buy, and it makes a nice pan full. Nice pan full. So we're gonna put this in a 375 degree oven, and it's gonna cook for 1 hour, y'all. 1 hour, and this will be good old country apple, blueberry, banana bread pudding. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Dinner is ready to be served. Now, I did a little change from the original menu. The salmon went away. So we got Kale Greens, some crispy K-fried chicken. Doesn't that look beautiful? So compliments of Kentucky Fried Chicken. We having K-fried chicken rather than the salmon. I didn't think it would go too well. And plus, I was ready to sit down. And this, of course, is that Mesquite cheesy chicken casserole, cornbread, and I eased in a nice apple, blueberry, banana bread pudding with a little bit of apple glaze on top. So dinner is ready to be served. The flavor train has pulled in. We're ready to sit back, relax, and enjoy this meal. And as always, continue to pray without ceasing, y'all. Keep each other's back as we go through these trying times. It seems like each day there's something different. But what we have to do is remember to pray without ceasing, stand in the gap for one another, encourage one another, and do something good for somebody. And most of all, keep something on that stove that's good for the tummy. I used to often think, wonder why the last thing the Lord did with his disciples was the Last Supper. So that tells you something about sitting down, breaking bread. That's a good time to fellowship, a good time to put people at ease, and a good time just to get some things going. So remember that. Invite some people over when you can. Make a good meal. It doesn't have to be anything special or fancy. Just something that you can sit down and have a good talk or a good laugh or just a fellowship. So keep those prayers going up now so the blessings will continue to come down. Remember, family, like I showed y'all earlier, I had a visit from some other family members. Family just makes my heart twinkle and sparkle, and especially when it's the kids. So keep those prayers going up, y'all, until so the blessings will continue to come down. I love you guys. Toodaloo.